This is a historic museum that has been preserved in time. It has no furniture in it. It's got exposed original plaster from the early 19th century. The people in Kent Corners love the Kent Museum. It's a hidden gem in Vermont. It's not open to the public except by appointment only. Hannah's activities there brought several hundred people who otherwise would not go to a house museum. I was very impressed. She has this great vision right from the start, and she laid out what she needed from me. I told her as the state what we could do. She adapted very quickly, had me out to the site so that we could walk through things so that my angst was immediately relieved, and I knew the building was in really good hands.
Well, it was quite serendipitous. I met her in the 1970s, mid-1970s, about the time that I was running McAuliffe Office Products. Vermont has a number of absolutely incredible individuals who have ended up here doing world-class work, and Hannah's one of them. She pulls together enormous resources. She has a big Rolodex and calls on people all over the world to come and help her. It's all about getting good people and getting them to work and being able to go out and raise the money to make it happen. She's done it time and time again.
I first met Hannah as far back as 1977 when she worked for Shelburne Farms when we were just getting going as a nonprofit organization, and she helped us in our administrative office. But we didn't really reconnect until she broached the idea of doing the Dear Peanut performance. Because of the partnership that we've had with the Flynn Theater and with Hannah over the years, we were able to look at it really as not a typical event, but more of an experiment that we could do and explore future possibilities for the use of this barn. The actual night of the performance was one of those magical moments, I think, in the history of Shelburne Farms. When I think of Hannah, she has the drive to pull off challenging projects.
As I was director of the Flynn in the early days, Hannah was engaged with us. She's able to mobilize amazing projects by starting with an idea, fully envisioning what the idea entails. And the ideas are big. I mean, these aren't small projects. I think she brought attention to the sisters neighborhood in a wonderful way by creating a dance that moved through the whole neighborhood and just honored its history and its presence. I don't think she's ever actively envisioned a project that didn't come to fruition. I think she takes into full consideration the whole range of issues. I mean, I think she's amazing at that, and you can count on it.
I first met Hannah in the early 1990s when we were doing a lot of revitalization in Burlington's Old North End. We were working on some big old buildings that I knew had a lot of history and really would benefit from just the community spirit that Hannah raises with her art projects. Everybody on the street, it seemed, had worked at that bakery, or as they told the story, had stolen some bread off the trucks in the morning. The difference with the bus barns for us, we did these 3 projects, was that people were still working there. We were able to introduce them to Hannah, and we said, this artist is going to celebrate your work and the history of this building, because again, this had meant these were good jobs in the neighborhood. And I think the ability of Hannah to work well with those folks, to get so many of them to participate and tell stories, just shows, you know, the sensitivity with which she brings to her work. Park Place is a big building across from City Hall Park. I had to convince the police department to block off the street and the electric department to turn off the street light. And then this whole building in the downtown came alive. Those moments, they transcend. It seems to me that there wouldn't be anybody else in Vermont who could match her ability to galvanize that kind of local spirit and pride, which you know these granite workers have in their work.
I first met Hannah in the 1980s, and we first began to collaborate when I was mayor and she was Hannah in the early 1990s. When Hannah first approached me, I said, this crazy woman Then you scratch the surface a little bit, it made sense, and over time it made more and more sense. Hannah, for decades, has been a force in bringing art and dance and performance to the city in unique ways. Hannah did that with the waterfront project, and over a period of time brought, I don't know, hundreds if not thousands of people to the waterfront to experience it in a way that they hadn't previously done. Hannah's been fun to work with. Community building takes so many different forms. What's most important is the engagement of the citizens, and Hannah, in a very unique ways, has engaged the community in looking back at our history, but also planning for a better future.